Mad Max Fury Road might look like a 2-hour non-stop action film at first glance, but when you look a little closer, you realize it's actually a journey into humanity's darkest corners. Let's start with the blood bag scene in the film's opening. We know Max Rokitansky, legendary road warrior, survival expert, one of the last humans standing. But how do we see him when the film begins? Hanging upside down, a metal muzzle strapped to his face, universal donor tattooed on his back, as if he's not a human being, but a piece of meat. The fanatic warriors called War Boys are literally using him as a blood bag. Nux is hooked up to Max through tubes to stay alive, mounted to the front of the car like an ornament. In this scene, Max can't speak, can't move. We can't even see his face most of the time. That's exactly why this scene feels so suffocating. George Miller creates claustrophobia here, not physically, but psychologically. We're watching Max's humanity being stripped away, reduced to an object, a resource. And this captures the essence of dystopia in a single image. In this world, a person's worth is measured by the fluid in their veins. Nothing more, nothing less. A human being's entire existence has been reduced to their blood. The metal muzzle is the visual symbol of this degradation. Max can no longer speak, can't express himself, can't object. He can only exist as a resource. Another deeply disturbing scene is the milk farm. Deep within Immortan Joe's citadel, we see women hooked up to massive machines, breast pumps, industrial tubes, and flowing white liquid. These women are called mothers, but in reality, they're nothing more than biological production units. The film doesn't linger on this scene. It stays on screen for just a few seconds. But those few seconds are more than enough, because Miller delivers his message crystal clear. In this world, the female body is a factory, a resource, a piece of property. Even breast milk has been commodified, industrialized. And here's the most disturbing part. The film doesn't use this for shock value. It shows it and moves on, as if this is completely normal in this world. That sense of normalization is exactly what makes this scene different. The most terrifying aspect of a dystopia isn't always overt violence. It's the banalization of violence. Nobody is surprised. Nobody asks questions. For everyone who's part of this system, this sight is ordinary. And we, the audience, are forced to witness this ordinariness. Perhaps the film's most devastating scene comes after Splendid's death. Splendid Angharad is one of Joe's prized wives. She's pregnant and one of the symbolic leaders of the escape. But during a battle, she falls from the vehicle and is crushed under Joe's massive war rig. So what happens next? Joe stops immediately, but not for Splendid, for the baby. The character called the Organic Mechanic performs an emergency C-section on Splendid's lifeless body in the middle of the desert. The baby is extracted, examined, checked to see if it's perfect. And Splendid? Tossed aside, as if she never existed. This scene is a complete psychological gut punch. We're witnessing a system where a mother's, a human's worth is measured solely by the product they carry. The disappointment on Joe's face when the baby turns out to be damaged clearly shows that in this world, human life has no intrinsic value. Splendid was a person. She had dreams, she had hopes. But in this world, she was just a vessel. And when the vessel breaks, you look at what's inside, not the vessel itself. Finally, let's look at the scene where we see Immortan Joe's true face. Throughout the film, we see Joe as a massive figure. His flashy armor, his terrifying mask, his absolute authority. His warriors are ready to die for him. The people see him almost as a god. But as the film progresses, we see the truth beneath the armor. Rotting skin, a diseased body, a man who can't even breathe without his mask. Joe's power is a complete illusion. Beneath the shiny armor, there's nothing but a decaying pile of flesh. Miller is saying something incredibly powerful here. Tyranny is often built on extremely fragile foundations. False gods hide their rotting bodies behind golden armor. Joe's true face isn't just physical decay, it's a metaphor for the internal rot of authoritarian systems. Behind power, there's actually nothing, just fear and illusion. And that's exactly why when Furiosa kills him, when his mask falls off, the god becomes just a man of flesh and bone. Even less than that. A rotting, fragile, pathetic man. Fury Road isn't just an action movie. It's a disturbing window into a world where the human body is commodified, life is devalued, and power masks decay. And you know what the scariest part is? This world isn't entirely fiction.